Okay, abusua for mencha obi asamo obi bia akwa babi mfambra ɔde ne ho TV ɔde ne ho kase bosu na adrususi ha de the updates ne trending news nkwa na edu me viewers any ahefo YouTube channel no so ye bebo we ensem ntintim ya Fiifi Kwetey ekoye press conference bi a chese ne nsenka ye mu no ɔkasa tie ye nwan mo mo nodness na Atubiga aba abonche chese ɔtoto nsema na Fiifi Kwetey na Northern youth no so ade oma join na Atubiga chese almost fire Fiifi Kwetey on the press conference in nsenka bi okokika no no meso so beka mo ne akotie ensen mu chemu ye pa ba beto so ahe odino TV na ne dey dikan wutie me na so hwe me meso so be subscribe to our channel so be like na do adwenche so egu comment section kama me do bibi ase
today for their parochial interest. I therefore call on concerned citizens, the National Peace Council, traditional and religious leaders to speak against people who campaign on religious and tribal lines. Ladies and gentlemen, we all recall that of recent Fiifi Kwetey on our own land told us how Dr. Bawumia, a disgrace to the history of any northerner that ever existed. This is highly unacceptable, disrespectful, denigratory, tribalistic, and undermining to all northerners. Dr. Bawumia, a former president, and former President John Dramani Mahama, former Vice President Aliu, have been of service and good reputation to the North and the whole nation, just as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, J.B. Dankwa, J.A. Kufuor, J.J. Rawlings, Professor Atta Mills, Emisa Atta, Kotoka, Akufo-Addo, and all others who have had the opportunity to serve at the executive, legislature, and judiciary arms of government in the past and present. And none of them cannot be said to be a disgrace to his ethnics or his tribe group. No such caliber of personality, whether dead or alive, has ever been said to be a disgrace to his tribe or ethnic group, irrespective of their political or religious affiliation. We are therefore calling on all Ghanaians to help us censure, condemn, and execute such unpalatable words from a general secretary of a large political party of our beloved country. Ladies and gentlemen, since independence to date, politicians have been criticized and accused strongly of failing to deliver and are a disappointment to voters, but no individual politician, northerner or southerner, has ever been denigrated, described as a disgrace to his tribe or ethnic group. Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a profession that is founded in ability to instill hope, convince doubters, and unite the disunity. To be a politician, you must overestimate your abilities and underestimate the obstacles. And all I will say in honesty is that I don't think anybody goes into politics unless they overestimate their abilities and underestimate the difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen, policy advocates of every ruling party since independence are always keen to claim that politics is successful, while opponents are more likely to frame policies as failures. The reality is that policy outcomes are often somewhere in between these extremes. And an added difficulty is that policy has multiple dimensions, often succeeding in some respect, but not in others, according to the facts and their interpretation. For example, why the free senior high school succeeding in achieving higher enrollment and higher education rates, It is failing in lack of resources to make the over-enrolled schools accommodate and feed the students adequately. In any event of instances of failure or perceived failure of a politician, no one ever arrogantly insult a whole ethnicity as Fiifi Kwetey did to we Northerners in this subject. Accordingly, let's conceive policy as having three realms: processes, programs, and politics. Policies may succeed or fail in each of these and along a spectrum of success: resilient success, conflicted success, precarious success, and failure. Let's conclude herein by examining contradiction between different forms of success, including what is known as good politics but bad policy. Whatever the performance or failure of Bawumia as vice president may be, his failures can never be very different from those of previous governments, presidents, or vice presidents. In fact, John Dramani Mahama, my big brother, that are not so much. Just like other presidents and vice presidents before and after him, was highly criticized for failure to deliver other misrules or issues. But he was never, President John Dramani Mahama was never said to be a disgrace of his tribe or ethnic group. In fact, apart from Aliu Mahama, Bawumia is the only vice president who got the opportunity, who got the trust of his boss, the president of Ghana, and Ghanaians to serve twice, 2 terms as a vice president, and even those vice presidents who got removed or served only 1 term because of their bosses or Ghanaians found them incompetent or failures were never said to be a disgrace to their tribes or ethnic groups. I'm sorry. How can such be said about Bawumia, who is not only hailed by his party, NPP, but is highly hailed, is highly respected and supported by all Northerners, which is evidenced by the votes he increased for the NPP in the North and Zongo since he became running mate and vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, as well as the overwhelming votes he swept from all the 5 northern regions during the recent held NPP presidential election. And that is, you know what happens to Akar as a vice president. We know what happens to Emitat, the difficulties most vice presidents had, and that is what I was trying to mean in the summary. Fellow Northerners, let us arise in straight rebellion against anything or anyone that talks negatively against any Northerner in politics, especially when that can reflect back to all that was said about Northerners in the past, which affects Northerners' future today. Let's note that apart from the fact that Northerners were used by non-Northerners to help him with the dirty jobs to overthrow Dr. Liman's government, Northerners were also used to destroy each other, which crushed John Dramani Mahama's ability to hold onto power in 2016. What I'm trying to explain, in this phrase, what I'm trying to explain is that Dr. Liman was overthrown by our founder, Jerry John Rawlings, through the help of some Northerners. We are devils to our own selves that he didn't, was not able to finish his term or get another term. Same thing happened to John Dramani Mahama. You saw the Kula Balu, the Bagwin, the Harun Brusus, whatever. It's the same thing that Trump, connived and he couldn't get